So I've made a couple of videos that alluded to cybersecurity or even talked about them directly, and I think I made a mistake in that I didn't go enough into the basics beforehand to make sure that everybody understood the context and understood some of the concepts that I was presenting fully. I made some assumptions, and that was on me, and I'm sorry. With that in mind, I would like to define the different types and colors in cybersecurity in order to define the different colored teams and what they do. Attackers, as we all know, is red team. They're the ones who draw blood. Okay, they're the ones that are attacking systems, finding exploits, finding bugs, and in many cases, working on QA teams to find those problems. Now, in a lot of technology teams, QA is considered less technical, which can be a mistake. If you have a very good QA person who has a good programming background, you'll find that they excel at red team. And don't sleep on these people because, as somebody who's been in that role myself, I can guarantee and tell you that there's a lot to be learned on those teams. And the skills that you get are going to be valuable for every other team. But not everybody does well on a red team, and not everybody can have that mindset. So it's important to understand that if you have a glut of red team people, there's probably something wrong. Um, Now, from a blue team perspective, blue is defense. This is the people patching systems, the people doing upgrades, the people, you know, fixing the bugs, things like that. These are the people that are out there working IT, sitting in a SOC, doing whatever they can to protect others and standing guard or just trying to protect and defend. Uh, there is a greater need for these kind of people than any other role, honestly, except maybe, well, orange. But the fact is, if you're in tech and you're in cybersecurity or you're in some sort of technology job, you're in blue team whether you like it or not. And it's extremely suspect for somebody to say that they're not part of blue team. Because even if you're on red team, if you're a good guy, you're on blue team too. And so the result of that is if you're a builder and you're in yellow team and you're working in application development and you're writing the code that builds these systems, and you don't consider yourself on blue team, then you're probably writing shit code and you're probably writing bad code and you're probably writing insecure code and you're probably making everybody else's job harder. So if you're on the yellow team and you're a builder and you're writing code, start learning about security from a blue team perspective. Make sure your stuff is compatible with the RFCs and is secure. And if you don't know how to do that, ask your teammate for a book because you need it. The what I'm just going to call the Warriors is the purple team. Obviously, blue and red is purple. That's how the color wheel works. And so you are now purple if you're a full stack engineer with an understanding of security. If you're a full stack engineer and you don't understand security, well, then you better learn about security because it's expected of you as a prerequisite of that job. And you may not have the cybersecurity title, but you definitely are required to build secure systems. And if you can't build one as a full stack development engineer, then you're failing at the job, period. DevOps is what I'm just going to call green team. Blue plus yellow is green. And so as a result of that, they're the ones making sure there's an audit trail. They're not the ones making sure that people can't enter the castle, but they are the ones making sure that if a ninja sneaks into the castle, they got that person on videotape and they made sure that there was footprints in the garden path to where they walk so investigators can do defer and everything else later on. This is to make sure that there's an audit log and to make sure that people can be defended as a defense in depth strategy of making sure that when bad things happen, they can be audited and processes can be improved. If you don't have a green team or your DevOps team doesn't think of themselves as a security team, there's something wrong. And if you're in DevOps and you don't think of yourself as green team or blue team, then you're not really doing your job correctly. Uh, Teachers are the orange team. And as a result of that, they are a little bit of red and a little bit of yellow. And the idea here is that they are coming at this from the perspective of a red team, and they're asking the questions, how could blood be drawn? And how can I teach people to build the system so that that doesn't happen? They are risk mitigation. They are the paranoid MFers. They are the guys in their bunkers asking the hard questions of why these systems aren't built better. And To be honest, I see a lot of these people come out of the woodwork only after something goes wrong, and they're generally on the business side. They're the people on the business side that would have asked these questions before if they'd understand the technology, but because they're on the business side, they don't understand technology. But when they learn about it, when things go wrong, they start asking the questions of, well, why didn't you do something to mitigate that threat? And so the secret to that is we get these people to exist before bad things happen, and then those bad things don't happen. And so if you consider yourself part of cybersecurity, you have an ethical and moral obligation to also be on the orange team, because you need to do what you can to make sure that risk doesn't happen. And so strive to protect. And if you don't know what that is, then be on the blue team because there's greater demand for it. Everybody loves somebody who's willing to protect them. Red teams are also not trusted by companies. The fact is, if you're the sort of person that is willing to go door to door and break into a system or has that capability, eh, businesses won't trust you as much. And that's something that you're going to have to deal with. As long as you're able to work for them, they might trust you more. But the fact is, there's going to be an issue there. Now, everybody is blue team if they know what they're doing. And anybody who says otherwise is for real sus, no cap. Thanks.